Hello and welcome to a special show, Messi versus Lewandowski. Messi's Argentina will be playing their third group stage match today against Poland. It will be a must-win game for the South American side because they need to win this to get to the knockout stages. So, will Messi live up to the expectations of Argentine fans yet again, Sundeep?
I think he's already done that in a way, but this is a mighty tough match. Both require a win, both also understand. Messi needs a World Cup. Lewandowski needs the team to go into the knockout at least because till now they haven't done that. So I think the priorities may be different, but the objectives are virtually similar because unless you take the next step, you're not going to go deep into the tournament. But this is going to be one exciting game simply because you have these two powerhouses. And as both the coaches have been constantly saying that, this is all a team game, basically playing down the factor of the star status. I still feel you really can't play it down because Messi is going to be Messi, Lewandowski is going to be Lewandowski, and defenders are going to be crowding around both of them. But I do get a distinct feeling that Poland probably will be up a leg today. Not that Argentina won't, but I still feel that Poland somehow will get their game together today because the objectives are just too large for them to ignore. Plus Lewandowski, Messi are not only playing for the World Cup, also they are playing because age is not anywhere going to be on their side. This is virtually a last chance. Now the last chances are where you get desperate. And I think desperation leads to a surprise victory here or a surprise defeat there. In that way, I think Poland just might be a leg up.
We saw desperation in Argentina's second match as well. They weren't able to score until the 60th minute. Then Messi scored that breathtaking goal. But their problem was against physicality when they played against Saudi Arabia, and Poland is also a very physical side. So can they face a similar issue? Can the forwards of Argentina, Martinez, Di Maria, Messi, who are not as physical as the Polish side, can they face a similar issue like they did against Saudi Arabia?
The situation is going to be the same, but the only difference is going to be between Lewandowski and Messi. Now comparing both of these once again, the magical moment can only be given by one, and that is Messi, because he's one of those thinking footballers who understands and probably thinks 2 seconds ahead of what the opposition might be doing. In terms of turning around a moment, turning around a situation, I think you're going to put all your money on Messi. For Lewandowski, it's a completely different thing. He never sits there or he never stands there waiting for a ball to come to him. He's constantly on the move. It's that one touch, two touch thing that always works for Lewandowski. That is where they will try and stop that one touch, two touch for Lewandowski. For Messi, it's largely a waiting game, finding that moment, creating it, and then scoring. If that all happens, then it's very difficult because with Messi, anything can happen at any point of time. Now that is the brilliance of the guy.
If he gets the space, if he gets the right space like we saw against...
He will create the space. He will find the space. That's the kind of a footballer he is. He'll find somewhere, and at some point of time, you can always see the brain ticking away. At what moment the defender is off him. That's when somebody else in the Argentine team sees it, which happened in the last game also. He was left alone, he created, he scored, and Argentina was through. Same thing can happen today, of course.
What about the Argentine defense? We saw their shortcomings in the first match. Then Romero was replaced with Martinez in the second match. So will they be sturdy at the back tonight?
I think Scaloni is probably massively worried on those aspects, because with a guy like Lewandowski, it's always possible to create in the box. It's always difficult for him to go outside and then bring it back. But I think that's where he can always do something which is extraordinary. He's always done that as a striker. A striker is not only looking for a moment, but a striker is just looking for that half a second of space. It's similar to what Brazil does. Lewandowski may not have that same skill level at 8 or 9 where, he can go dodge past 1 or 2. But he has that thing of taking a snapshot, of taking that snap header. Set pieces, and you might see Lewandowski do something great. And I think that's what they're going to be really afraid of, Argentina. Don't give away set pieces. Don't give him that space out there that he can create something in half a second. That's going to be crucial for Lewandowski and for Poland if they really want to go to the knockouts.
Right, Sundeep. Now looking at the group, at the top we have Poland with 4 points. On the second place we have Argentina with 3. On the third place there is Saudi Arabia with 3 points as well. And on the fourth we have Mexico. So Mexico will be up against Saudi Arabia, and if Saudi Arabia wins, then they are through. If Argentina wins, then they are through. If Poland wins, then they are through. But a tricky situation would be one where Mexico wins, and Argentina and Poland play a draw, then Poland will be through, but Argentina, the second spot will be decided between Argentina and Mexico on the basis of goal difference. There are certain more combinations here. If Argentina wins and Poland is on the losing end, and Saudi Arabia and Mexico play a draw, then the contention will be between Saudi Arabia and Poland.
So keep it straightforward. Poland wins, Saudi Arabia wins. It's pretty straight.
So you want Argentina out of the World
No,
Cup?
it's not about out.
Yeah.
I mean, on form, on just pure, playing your levels up as you go deeper into a group stage. I think Poland probably holds a little bit of an edge today because they have come into their own. And the reason I'm saying this is we've also spoken about this often. Once that pressure thing is off Lewandowski, getting that one goal that he always wanted, he just might be a very different character today, might be a very different player today. Similar goes for Saudi Arabia. As we said, massively fit team. And it's just not about Saudi Arabia trying to win a match. It's about whether they can put the destiny into their own hands, their fate into their own hands and become a superpower in terms of Asia. They're already a big team. But taking that one level up, where their own league gets huge amount of prominence if they go into the knockout, I think that is a very big motivation factor for them. So looking at those, of course, favorites will always be there. For me, Saudi Arabia should go through and Poland should go through. But in these games, you never know what happens.
So far, Lewandowski has scored a goal, after which he was in tears because it came in his 5th World Cup game. And Messi has already scored 2 goals. Overall, in their international career, Messi has 93 goals, whereas Lewandowski has 77. So let's see what happens in this clash tonight. We are expecting Poland and Saudi Arabia, which are our picks for this group. Moving on to another group, which is Group D. The top 2 will be decided in this group as well. We already have a topper here, as France has won their first 2 matches. But for the second spot, Denmark will be in contention along with Australia at 8:30 p.m. tonight. So that will be a cagey affair.
Denmark should be pulling themselves through there. I mean, Australia has not been really up to that level. They've not been playing well. Their midfield seems massively muddled amongst all the teams. If you really look at it carefully, I think Denmark will easily find a way through and just cross into the knockouts. There should not be an issue out there for Denmark. I mean, they have a very, very good and a very steady team that can play constantly and very competitive football for 90 minutes. Australia goes like a yo-yo. They are constantly up and down. And that is easy for Denmark to find a way through. So I think that should be a straightforward game there.
Right. Denmark has been a little unlucky so far. They've hit the woodwork twice in their match against Tunisia, and they couldn't get the win or a draw against France. But there are hopes that they could pull off their first win against their next opponent, Australia. So we are expecting France and Denmark to get to the knockout stages from Group D. That's it from this episode. Stay connected. If you want to know anything about the World Cup, then watch Sports 9.